Teens have so many things to consider when making sexual choices, so let's get into it. Hi, I'm Nadine Thornhill, sexuality educator. Welcome to Safe Sex Ed, my series where I teach every sex education module from Ontario's 2015 Health and Phys Ed curriculum. So, if it's your first time, you want to know more about this series, then click on the I above, and you can also click on the subscribe button that is down below, and click the bell while you're down there, and that way you will be notified every time I post a new video. The Health and Phys Ed curriculum for grades 9 through 12 outline the following learning objective for grade 10. Describe factors that influence sexual decision-making and demonstrate an understanding of how to use decision-making and communication skills effectively to support choices related to responsible and healthy sexuality. For this activity, you are going to need index cards or pieces of paper in 4 different colors. You are going to need pens or pencils for every person in your class or group, and try to make them all the same color if you can. There is a lot of conversation that can come out of this activity, so you may actually want to break it up and do it over 2 sessions or 2 classes. You are going to start with your first color, and you are going to give every student or person in your group 3 of those cards. On each card, they are going to write down one thing they would take into consideration when making the decision about whether or not to engage in partnered sex. Tell them not to write their names or any identifying information on the card. Give them, maybe 7 to 10 minutes to complete the cards, and when everyone is done, collect them all. So go through the cards and read each one aloud, and as you do, tape it up onto the wall. You're going to distribute 3 cards of the next color. On these, your class or group are going to write down 3 positive or healthy ways to relate to a romantic or sexual partner. And again, you're going to do the same thing, give them time, complete the answers, collect them, read them aloud, and tape them up on the wall. You are going to distribute the next set of cards, and on these, your student or group are going to write down 3 unhealthy or negative ways of relating to a romantic or sexual partner. Now you're going to distribute the last set of cards, and on these cards, your class or group are going to write down 3 characteristics or personality traits that they would look for in a potential romantic or sexual partner. Divide your class or group into pairs. If you need a group of 3, that is okay. And in those smaller groups, they are going to discuss the following. Of the options on the wall, what are things you feel you absolutely must have to form a positive or healthy romantic or sexual relationship? What are things you would like to have but don't necessarily need that would enhance your positive or healthy relationship? What are things that would be deal breakers or you absolutely could not tolerate in a sexual or romantic relationship? What are things that you wouldn't love but could accept or at least would be willing to work on in a sexual or romantic relationship? Footnote, if that is a thing that one can have in a video, it is completely valid in this exercise for someone to say, look, I don't want a sexual or romantic relationship. And in that case, they can discuss with their partner, maybe some of the reasons they're not interested in having that type of relationship. And lastly, you can offer your group, paper if they actually want to, capture or record their answers and save them for later. Wrap up the activity by bringing everyone back together and asking them the following processing questions. Were there any answers on the wall that you hadn't thought of but now think might be an important part of your sexual or romantic decision making? What aspects of a relationship do you think would be easy to discuss with a sexual or romantic partner? What aspects of a relationship do you think would be difficult to discuss with a sexual or romantic partner? What could you do to find the courage to have those difficult conversations anyway? Even if you're your teen isn't romantically or sexually involved right now, you can still ask them if they're interested in having that type of relationship someday, and if so, what they would be hoping to experience in that sort of relationship. You can also talk to your teen about the qualities that you value in others and about the relationships that are important to you. Help your kids think about what they can do and where they can turn for support when things don't go the way they want in terms of a sexual or romantic relationship. And now this can include things like, when their, sexual or romantic feelings are not reciprocated, or, when they have been in a relationship and that relationship ends. Emphasize the importance of respecting other people's boundaries. We are not entitled to a relationship with anyone, no matter how strong our feelings or our attraction. If they've said no or otherwise expressed that they are not interested in having or continuing a relationship with us, then we need to accept that. Now, it is okay and very normal to feel badly about that. Sexual and romantic and social rejection can really, really hurt. It can be really painful. It can be embarrassing. So help your teens, think about where they can turn, or the people that they can turn to for support if they are experiencing, those really difficult feelings, whether it be, you, other family members, friends, a counselor, having someone to talk to and having someone to offer sympathy and support will help them get through those really tough times. Talking to your kids about these things is super important, but ultimately they have to make their own choices about their sexual and romantic lives. And as the parents, we are really there as their support person. We're there to be like, hey, I got your back no matter what happens. We cannot force our teens to make decisions around relationships that they don't want to make. And trying to do that often, creates secrecy and shuts down communication. So I do not recommend. Do you feel ready for a sexual or romantic relationship? What do you think a person should do if they are nervous or afraid to discuss something with their sexual or romantic partner? What do you need and want from a sexual or romantic partner? How can you find out what your partner needs and wants? I have a few more videos on this topic. I have one that's specifically about teens and sexual readiness, and then I have a few that are about, things to consider if contemplating a sexual or romantic relationship. So I will link to all of those in the description box down below. In the comments below, tell me 3 things that you look for in a positive or healthy relationship, and that can be like a sexual romantic relationship or a different kind of relationship. So things that I always look for are someone that I can have, really great conversations with, that I can, that make me think, people who make me laugh, that, I can make them think. I really like that exchange of ideas. I look for someone who is, justice oriented. So someone who is interested in fairness and equity for all sorts of people. And I look for, what is the third thing? I look for someone who is, fun, or likes to do something fun. And it doesn't have to be anything in particular, but I just want them to have something that they do for fun and enjoyment. That's all for now. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye. You can help me continue creating free sex ed content by supporting me on Patreon. For as little as $3 a month, you'll get access to all sorts of goodies. So head on over to patreon.com/Nadine Thornhill or click the link down in the description below.